Hi, welcome to our lesson for today. We are looking at systems technology and we will be focusing on managing files. Now, for us to be able to manage our files on our computer, there's a few things that we really need to understand and be able to identify in order for us to have a proper working filing system. Now, managing of files. Managing of files is to be able to manage your files. You need to know different file types so you can be able to arrange them according to the file type in different folders. Now, how are we going to be able to identify different file types? Now, file types differ with icons as well as file extensions. Now, changing file extensions can destroy your file and make it useless unless you actually know what you are doing. So whenever you have to work with files, be careful when you rename your file not to change the file extension. Right. Now, different file types. I have a few examples here. You have a file type here for Microsoft Office PowerPoint, and you can see the icon there and you can see the file extension there. And then we have Microsoft Office Word, and there's the icon there as well as the file extension there. Then we also have Microsoft Excel, the icon there as well as the file extension of that document. Then lastly we have Adobe Reader. You can see the icon as well as the file extension. Now, this is one way of being able to identify these file types. Now, if you want to identify the file types, you right click on your item or the document and then you go to properties, and then it will allow you to view what I'm viewing on my screen here. And then now, management of files involves what? Involves knowing some of these words which we call properties. Now, what are properties? Properties are contents as well as details about a file. These can be the name, the author, date of creation, etc. Now, the properties also have what we call tags. Now, tags would be the keywords describing the contents of the file as well as metadata, which is information about information. Now, in other words, it's information about the properties. Now, how can you be able to view your file properties? Now, if you go to your Microsoft Office document or any other document, you go to your Office button there, and then you go to Prepare, and then you open up Properties, and then this is what you will get. You will get a screen just above your tabs there where you get document properties, the author, the title, subject, keywords, category, status, as well as comments. So this will allow you to actually see your file properties and be able to edit your file properties. Another way of viewing your file properties, you can right click on your document before you have opened it, and then you go to properties at the bottom, and then you go to details, and then it will allow you to see the file properties here. Alright, so these are two different ways of actually viewing properties of a document. Then moving on to file attributes. Now, file attributes are there to tell the user more information about the file. Now, for example, is it a read-only file, a hidden file, or an archive file? Now, an example of that, how would you be able to see? You go again on right-clicking on your document, going to properties, and then when you get to your properties, just at the bottom here, you will be able to see your attributes. Alright, so this is another way of making sure that you understand your document in order to be able to manage your files. And then the next one is import and export. Now, import and export is the process that allows one to transfer one application to another application. Now, this simply means that if you get data out, you are actually exporting. And if you getting data in, you are actually importing. Now, how can you do this? I've got a few pictures here from different applications where you'll be able to view how you can export and how you can import. Now, this one is from Microsoft Access, and you can see here you've got the import, the save export. All right, so here you can see you can be able to get your imports from different applications, and you can choose there. And then this one is from Microsoft Excel, and if you go to the data tab, you'll be able to see where you can get data from Access, from web, etc. And then this is actually allowing you to transfer one file application to another file application. And then we're going to look at searching. Now, searching is a function that helps one to find files in storage devices by giving a search criteria. Now, sometimes you create documents and you forget where is the document saved. So the only thing you can remember is parts of the file. For example, you might maybe remember the file extension, that it was a document, a Word document, or you can remember partly the name of the file, but you can't remember completely, or maybe you can remember the date when you created the file. Right, now, how can one search? If you look at this picture here, it's showing you my search bar there, where I've tried to search for a document starting with E, and then you can see here we've got different types of searches. You can search by the author, the type, the date when the document was modified, as well as the size. But obviously this differs according to operating system that you're using. Now, how can one search? You can search more by the name of the file. You can use wildcards if only part of the name is known or is unknown. And then you can search by the size. You can search by the text contained in the file, the date when the file was created or modified, the author, as well as the type of file. Now, these are some of the other functions that you need to obviously understand in order to manage your documents properly. That is it for our lesson for today, and thank you. Goodbye.